What is up, everybody? Josh here again, and today we have an Icarus Week 120 update. This week we got a huge update with 3 brand new purifiers, one with 2 variations. We also get changes to different water types, and they also buffed Coco and stuff like that. We also get news of the upcoming Creatures Comfort DLC and more. Let's get into it, shall we? Icarus Week 20 brings the water revamp. Icarus Week 20 update. New water quality and purification process. We're introducing 3 new tiers of water quality and 3 purifiers, technically 4, one has a variation, to provide more detail to the water purification process. This week we get 3 new water purifiers. They also adjusted the modifiers applied to different drinking vessels, so hot drinks can be sipped on rather than consumed all at once. They also had some new news on Laika, their upcoming creature-themed update, and a new paid DLC that will be paired with it. This week we have some notable improvements. Wind turbines no longer take damage when on easy difficulty. Wolves no longer howl every time they play their idle animation. This now only happens 1/3 of the time. Wild bees now grant XP and bestiary progress towards bees. And the land shark now grants relevant XP and loot. Fixed land sharks not being destroyed on death was being hidden. Water skins have been buffed to no longer leak water as well. So water skins no longer suck. Got some bees here. We'll see if they give us some bestiary here. Yep, sure does. Well, in all honesty, I was going to try to get a thumper and do a land shark, but I can't get one to spawn even with 150 nodes and 3 times, so... This week we get water quality and purification. We have different types of water quality now. We have tainted water, which is not purified, which is from lakes and rivers. And it gives you a 15% chance to get dysentery, regardless if drunk from a source or if from a container. We also have rainwater. Of course, that's from catchers. It's a little bit better than rivers and lakes and still gives a 5% chance of getting dysentery now whenever you drink rainwater. Filtered water is using charcoal in the Tier 1 purifier. Basically, it eliminates the chance of dysentery, but provides no extra buff or benefit. We have treated water. Treated water is water that's been through plumbing and charcoal filtration process of the Tier 3 purifier, and it gives you a negative 10% water consumption and 10% decrease in stamina consumption, so both last longer. And finally, we have purified water. This is from the Tier 4 water purifier, and it gives a negative 15 water and stamina consumption reduction. With the new filtered water, treated water, and purified water variations come 3 new purifiers to achieve these states. These come with a Tier 1 purifier, Tier 3 purifier, and Tier 4 purifiers. The Tier 1 purifier runs on charcoal only and filters water only from rivers and lakes in one variation and rainwater from the other. And charcoal is the only thing it takes to fuel it to produce filtered water. The Tier 3 purifier runs on charcoal and is plumbed into the water source that you have, and it gives treated water. It requires charcoal as well and just an active water source with a water tool. It does have some internal storage and will fill up water vessels that you place in it. And finally, we have the Tier 4 purifier, and that runs off just water and electricity and provides purified water. That's to be plumbed into your water system and have electricity, and any vessel you put in it will be filled up. It will go into an idle state whenever it's inactively filling a vessel. So whenever it's filling a vessel, it'll be active. Whenever it's not, it'll go idle. And water produced from this machine is the highest possible quality purified. Also, real quick, water vessels have a change this week. Water vessels have 2 different states now. You have water quality, which is the defined above qualities like tainted, rain, filtered, treated, or purified. And then you have a liquid property, which is kind of like cool or hot, like tea or cocoa. Stuff like that is a liquid property, basically. This also makes those items that we just mentioned, like tea or cocoa, no longer single-use items. You can place them and you can sip them over time now. So the modifiers will last for 300 seconds, and every single time you sip, it will be refreshed, pretty much. We'll kind of go over this in detail soon. But this also means you have to be cautious because the lowest quality of water that you put in your vessel will be what that vessel is filled up with. So for example, if you have cocoa, and then you go down to the lake and fill it up with water from an unclean or tainted water source, then that will become fully tainted water. Instead of cocoa, you do have the option to clear out containers as well. Just put them on your hotbar and right click them to clear them. And thanks to these changes, you'll no longer be able to drink or fill up canteens while swimming. We'll show you what that means. All right, let's talk about the unlocks first. The unlocks in tier 1 is of course the basic water purifier, and you just craft it on your character. You can make the water purifier and basic rainwater purifier. In tier 3, next to the water sprinkler, towards the middle here, you'll see the water purifier, ingots, refined wood, stone, and epoxy, and it's made at the machining bench. And at the very end of tier 4, you'll see the electric water purifier, and that requires titanium plates, electronics, and aluminum ingots, and crafted at the fabricator. It also requires 1000 power and 500 water. So there's lots of different types of water now. We'll go over the types of water that you have in Icarus now. There are tainted water, which is pretty much any water you get from like a lake or river, something like that. You have rainwater, which is of course collected by any rain collector or catcher. You have filtered water, and filtered water is from this device right here, the tier 1 basic rain purifier. All you gotta do is hold E to access it and put fuel in it, and this is the one that catches rainwater. So when it's raining, it will sit there and purify water. Otherwise, it'll just sit there and constantly eat away at your charcoal. So you probably don't want to put a stack of charcoal in there. It only lasts for 50 minutes, and it won't do anything unless it's raining. And it actually will not also accept a sprinkler as rain. It has to actually be rain for it to work. And of course, there is another variation in your inventory once you learn those recipes. Whenever you have this one right here and this one right here, the rainwater purifier does rainwater. The basic water purifier is placed in any body of water, and all you got to do is go up to it and put charcoal in it, just like you do the rainwater one. And it will sit there and fill it up, and that will fill that container up with this type of water, which is filtered water. So the tier 1 filter will do filtered water. We'll move on to treated water, which is the tier 3 purifier, and that's this middle device right here. Holds 10 liters of water, and looks like this. It's pretty neat, actually. It does connect directly to your water sources or containers, whatever you're hooking it up to. You can connect it directly to your water line with the water tool, and you're able to go into its inventory. When you put a device into that water purifier, for example, we have this heated canteen here with treated water, which is what this container does. We're just going to equip that and right click it to empty that container, and then we're going to throw this container in there to fill it up again. It will sit there and use the charcoal that you put in. It does require charcoal as well, just like most of the water purifiers, except for the electric. And it'll sit there and fill that up with treated water. And treated water is the first water that actually gives you a buff. This water right here, just the regular filtered water, it doesn't give a buff or anything. It's just water, basically. It's water without any penalties or buffs. There it is. It's completely full now. Then we'll move on to the purified water, which is this device right here. Now, one thing I'll mention is I just have it out here just to display and for demonstration purposes only. These two devices and the one, of course, in the water can stay outside. This one cannot. It has to be sheltered. As you see in the top of the screen there, it says shelter with a red line through it. That means it has to be inside shelter at all times. It does connect directly to electricity and your water lines, and it does go into idle mode whenever it's not being used. You go into it and put a canteen in there. We'll go ahead and empty this canteen here so we can fill it up to show you how it fills up. It fills up quite fast, and it will fill up several containers at once too. So if we went and actually emptied out all these containers and threw all those containers in there, like so, you'll see they all fill up really, really fast actually. But gives you the best water in the game, and that's plus 15% reduction to your water consumption and stamina consumption. It's taking a little bit longer, but not too bad. And now they're all filled up. So we have purified water in here. We can just grab it whenever we want to. Looks like we have a heavy rain, so we're gonna actually have to pick up this water purifier. But that is the water purifier. We'll show you the rain catcher and how it works. So the rain catcher, the only thing you have to have is a rainstorm or rain. You actually have to have rain falling. You have to have charcoal to run this. Once you're in a rainstorm, you just put the charcoal over in this right here, and you'll see it'll start filling up with rainwater. I guess it fills it up in the bottom. Then you can bring out your canteen and press E to fill that canteen or container with that rainwater, or that, I'm sorry, filtered water. So it does filter with rainwater. And this is just neutral water. Also, we're going to show you real quick the new changes to the green tea, gorse tea, coffee, and cocoa. For example, cocoa will actually bring up your temperature. Coffee does the maximum stamina and stamina regeneration, which is actually pretty nice. You also have health regeneration with green tea, and water consumption reduction and temperature increase with gorse tea. So once you make one of these, you need to have a container. It says water container and cocoa, and you could craft it. So we got our purified water here, and we're just going to craft some cocoa. Once that's done, we'll show you. We now made us some cocoa here, and now we can put it in our water slot, and that will give us the cocoa buff. As you can see right here, when we go over to inventory and our character, it gives you the hot cocoa buff, and it will refresh every single time that it sips on that canteen. So this canteen is going to last a pretty long time. It's got quite a bit of water in it, and it's going to last. It's going to keep reapplying the cocoa buff, and you're going to keep hydrated because it's going to always be taking it whenever it needs a little bit of water. It makes cocoa and other buffs that you eat in the game much more valuable because they last for much longer. It used to be a one-time use item. You consume it and it was gone. Now you can put it in your canteens and consume it for a very long time. Last thing I was going to show you is that you can contaminate your water source too. So we have some filtered water here. We're just going to go ahead and actually try to fill it up. Say, for example, you have a full canteen of something and it runs out and you really want to fill up your canteen. So now whenever you drink, you get a chance to get tainted water, and tainted water will give you a chance to get a 15% chance to get dysentery for 300 seconds. So within that 300 seconds, you have a chance to get dysentery, and it's a 15% chance. And so just randomly, whenever you have this debuff on you, sometimes you'll get dysentery, and that goes for rainwater too, but it's a much lower chance. So say, for example, that's when you drink, and now drinking does not fill up canteens. You have to actually physically go to the canteen, equip it. So now we consumed a little bit of this. We should be able to fill it up now. So we go up and then we hit E to fill up the container. This should now become tainted water. So now it's went from filtered water to tainted water. So if you fill up your canteen, make sure you fill it up with whatever you had before, or it will be the lower valued item. So for example, if you had this cocoa, if we filled it up with creek water, oh look, we have tainted water. So it goes to the lowest valued water source that you fill it up with. Tainted water will be what that is now instead of cocoa, unfortunately. And in the future, they talk about the Laika update. They will be giving us some more details here coming over the next coming weeks. They're also going to be releasing their Creature Comfort DLC, which they now have something you can wish list now. I mean, if they really want me to do a video on that when it comes out, I will. They just need to send me the DLC. This DLC will have a bunch of new items for your mounts and tame creatures, and some more content that they can't wait to share with you. Also next week, we get quality of life improvements. Next week, they're planning to do a quality of life pass headed by their bench consolidation improvements. Essentially, what they're going to be doing is making sure that each tier bench that's tier 4 has all the recipes of tier 3 and its counterparts. So they're going to be condensing benches. Thank God, because they just added 3 more to the game. Or 1, I guess technically. Whichever the one that you have is the best. We're gonna skim over this change log. Got the new content section. Let's take a gander. The tier 1 purifier does say that it has to be placed outdoors. We forgot to mention that. They also removed cooling modifiers from being hard-coded on all canteens. And drinking water from the suit slot now applies the correct effectiveness number to the modifier. And they mention here on easy difficulty only, remove damage from windmills, negative weather effects from generators and water devices, clogging from water wheels, have negative weather effects from solar panels also. And the kitchen sink now provides the correct alterations when filling containers. Just to let you know that the sink does give you treated water. whenever you put it in it. So it's not too bad. And it looks like you can no longer fill up your canteen in the kitchen bench. Moving on to the fix section. They added a step to the bottom of the concrete stairs to match other stair assets, pretty much to prevent that gap it used to have. That's really it, other than the stuff that we've already mentioned. And in the future content section, we'll skim over that. Talking about the Kiwi, adding cryogenically frozen chicken and sheep workshop entries. When deployed, these will spawn a chicken at the location. Getting snare trap hitching posts, hitching rope items to trunk for localization. We got the SK gun, hunting rifle, CHAC, and CHAC pistol. We also talk about the bestiary for 7 new creatures and setting up a CHAC shotgun and rifle. And that's really it for this update. Thank you so much to the late night crew: KHX, Sergio, Wolfie, Sandy, Silver, John, EMC2, Rodnob, Aaron, Steady Bob, Jim K72, Kristen, Jaybird, Fubar, Chris Parsons, Sanchez, MTZ Gaming, Gamer Joe, Sky Reaper 1, Metalstorm, Alpha Tanker, Jason, Valiant, Fabio, and Josh Jordan. Thank you so much for being part of the late night crew, for supporting our channel. We greatly appreciate it. And thank you to the late night crew supporters as well. And that's it for our video. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget, if you like what you see, to like, comment, subscribe, and all that good stuff. Subscribing will get you weekly Icarus update videos just like this one. And we're back to streaming, but not Icarus. We'll be streaming this Friday and Saturday for sure. And we did stream Thursday as well. Check that out if you want to. And hopefully we'll see you next time. Peace.